Hey YouTube! So I've tried for several days to make this video and it's been really frustrating. So if I'm talking really fast or whatever, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to try and get through this video. This update is going to be kind of like my 7th month update, I guess. A lot has changed in the past like 3-4 weeks. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back to just making weekly videos because so much is changing every week that if I don't, I end up having way too much to update about, way too much to try and remember. So this video is going to come in 2 parts. The first part, I'm going to talk about the symptoms that I've had over the past couple of weeks. The second part is going to talk about the interesting, exciting, eventful things that have happened in the past couple of weeks. So for this first part, I am officially 29 weeks and 5 days. So I'm almost 30 weeks, and that is really exciting for me. I think that once you hit the 30-week mark and you're like out of the 20s, I just feel like no matter at what point you're telling somebody how far along you are, like they know you're definitely pregnant. Like I don't know why, but like I just feel like anytime in the 20s or below, it just seems like you still have forever to go. But when you say you're in like the 30s, you know, people just kind of like, no, you're getting really close. And so I don't know, I just always look forward to being in the 30s because then I just feel like, yes, it's getting really close. So in this video I'm going to talk pretty much about my symptoms from like week 25 until week 28. The first symptom that was really apparent to me was at 26 weeks. It was like bam, exhaustion hit me again. In the first trimester, I was really experiencing like the really heavy legs. It was just really exhausting to just do the normal day-to-day things. I got a little bit of relief in the second trimester. And then third trimester, like the week before the third trimester hits, it was like, bam, there's exhaustion, deal with it. And I got the heavy legs again, and you know, he's getting bigger, so he's getting further up, like pushing up on my lungs and stuff. And so everything is just really exhausting to do, and I'm finding that I'm just completely spent all day long. Like from the time I wake up until the time I go to sleep, I am just dead tired. So that was the same way it was with my daughter's pregnancy. The week before the third trimester, the third trimester exhaustion hit. So it was the same for this one. One of the big symptoms that I've noticed is my back pain. I know I've talked about it pretty much my entire pregnancy, that my back pain has just kind of gotten progressively worse, and it definitely has been like hitting a max. I'm not completely debilitated in bed the whole time because of it, but it's definitely really painful. I had talked to my midwife about it, and she suggested me getting a support belt for my stomach, but since they don't have them here available for me to like go in the store and try on, I would have to order one online. And so she suggested going down to physical therapy and having them just help me get it fitted correctly, I guess. I don't know. She'd also talked about doing E-stem treatments for my back. Well, she talked about talking to them, physical therapy, about that, and I just wasn't comfortable with the idea of that. She had said that she believed it was safe. My husband's done E-stem treatments for his knee, and he said that he's pretty sure it's safe. I didn't actually talk to the physical therapist about it because even if it was safe, I just didn't feel like it was something that I wanted to do. I didn't feel comfortable with it. If I was completely laid up in bed, just not able to move because my back was so bad, then I might consider that, but it just wasn't something that I was comfortable with. Anyways, I did go down to the physical therapist, and she had said that my problem isn't anything in my joints or my bones or anything like that, which was good. But she said that basically the instability that's being caused from the loosening ligaments and whatnot is what's causing the pain. So she had suggested trying this tape that you put on your back. I'm sure that people have seen it through the Olympics and whatnot. It was highly advertised, and it became really popular at that point. I've known about it for several years with my personal training background. I've never personally used it and never used it on anybody, but I am aware of it. But it's basically this tape that you put on different parts of your bodies to help with, basically, it just kind of gives your muscles a little bit of a reminder of what to do. So there's no like any scientific proof that it actually does something, but having the tape there just brings this kind of like awareness to the muscles, whatever. Anyways, we weren't sure if it was going to work, but she put it on my back, and as soon as she put it on my back, it was like, oh, it was amazing. Complete difference, day and night. I mean, if my pain level was at a 10 before, it brought it down at least to like a 4 or 5. So, miracle tape. It's called KT tape, and it's not anything that I can get prescribed to me, so I have to pay for it out of pocket, but it is worth it. I can't believe the relief that I'm getting. So I'm just so happy about that. So as long as I'm wearing the tape, my back pain is a lot better. If I stop wearing the tape, then it just goes right back to the way that it is. So super weird, but hey, I'm just happy to find a holistic, natural way of taking care of it, rather than having to do like E-stem or having to take like any kind of pain medicine or anything like that. I just am glad that I was able to find a relief for this. Another symptom that I started noticing was that my toes will cramp up. I do get cramps in my legs sometimes, which is really common in pregnancy, especially in the calves. I generally, if I do start to get the cramp, as soon as I start to feel it, I will flex my foot, and that pretty much just brings it to a halt. So it doesn't really get to that point where it's so bad, where you're like woken up out of a dead sleep because of it, and then your calf is like sore for 2 days afterwards. I haven't gotten to that point, but I do kind of get like cramps in my calves, but mostly I get it in my toes. Like I'll find that my toes just kind of cramp up, and I have to just wiggle them around or whatnot to release the cramp. Sometimes I will get cramps in my hips, just like a cramp. If I shift it a certain way, then I just have to be like, oh, okay, I have to move again. So some lower body muscle cramping, I would say. Another major symptom that I've been experiencing is heartburn. I've talked about it in previous videos where the peppermint tea has kind of just cured that. It's no longer like that at all. I was getting to the point where my heartburn was getting so bad that I was actually just kind of avoiding eating because I didn't want the heartburn, which obviously isn't good. It went on for like a day or two, and I was like, okay, I need to find some relief for this because obviously I need to eat. And it wasn't like I just wasn't eating at all. It was just like very limited amounts of limited types of food that I was eating, and it just wasn't good. So I went to our GNC that we have available on the base here, and they had papaya enzymes, which are really common in helping with digestion, period, but helping with the heartburn, especially in pregnant women. So I tried that, and it gave me a little bit of relief, but not much. So the last step that I was going to take before actually going to my midwife and being like, I need something to help with this, was to take Tums. And so I went to the store and got Tums, and the combination of peppermint tea, the papaya enzymes, and Tums all together throughout the day helps my heartburn so much. So I finally found some relief for that. Back to eating just fine now. But it was to the point where if that wouldn't have helped, then I would have gone to my midwife and been like, can you prescribe me something? Because it's so bad. It was getting to the point where I was literally coughing so hard because of the heartburn that I would start to see like specks, little like stars. I was coughing so hard. So yeah, it wasn't good. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the symptoms that I've had throughout this 7th month, or from basically 25 weeks to 28 weeks. So the next video, the part 2 that I'm going to update about, is going to be the cool things that have happened, that have changed and whatnot during that time. So I will talk to you more then.